Greetings, I'm Michael O'Connor, and thanks for joining me at the well. The topic today is heaven. How many of us have said the phrase, I am in heaven, or I feel like I've died and gone to heaven? What made us say that? How did we feel when we said that? Most likely we were in a state of bliss. I've also heard the phrase, everyone wants to get to heaven, but nobody wants to die. It's a phrase that has always intrigued me. If heaven is so blissful, why do we cling so hard to this life? Why do people do whatever they can to extend this life as long as they possibly can? I also wonder if those in heaven are smiling and saying, if you only knew how blissful heaven was. Is heaven a feeling, a spiritual or emotional state of existence, or is it an actual place? Well, if you turn to the Bible, Jesus speaks about heaven in several passages, emphasizing it as a real place. One notable instance is in the Gospel of John, where Jesus says, "Do not let your hearts be troubled. You believe in God, believe also in me. My Father's house has many rooms. If that were not so, would I have told you that I am going there to prepare a place for you? And if I go and prepare a place for you, I will come back and take you to be with me, that you may also be where I am." This passage highlights Jesus' assurance to his disciples that he is preparing a place for them in heaven, often referred to as my Father's house. Additionally, in the Gospel, this one of Matthew, Jesus mentions the kingdom of heaven. "Not everyone who says to me, 'Lord, Lord,' will enter the kingdom of heaven, but only the one who does the will of my Father who is in heaven." Which may answer our next question. How do we get to heaven? By doing the will of the Father. Which is what? Well, if you want a quick answer, it's through loving others, being kind, modeling all those behaviors that Christ himself showed us when he was here on earth. It certainly isn't by pursuing power, pleasure, and wealth. Maybe those who do pursue power, pleasure, and wealth do so because they think the only heaven they'll see is here on earth during their lifetime, and they devote all their time pursuing happiness that way. What will heaven look like? Well, the Bible mentions that heaven is a place where there is no more death, no more sorrow or crying or pain, from Revelations. This suggests an existence that is entirely free from the sufferings and trials of earthly life. The overarching theme is one of eternal peace and joy in the presence of God, where the redeemed will live in perfect harmony with him and each other. Finally, what will our bodies look like in heaven? Between you and me, I'm hoping for the 25-year-old man, not the 75-year-old man. Well, the Bible indicates that we'll have resurrected bodies that are imperishable and glorious. In Corinthians, it says, "So will it be with the resurrection of the dead. The body that is sown is perishable. It is raised imperishable. It is sown in dishonor. It is raised in glory. It is sown in weakness. It is raised in power." Our new bodies will be like the body Jesus had after his resurrection, says the 1 Corinthians. It states, "Just as we have borne the likeness of the earthly man, so shall we bear the likeness of the man from heaven." These bodies will never become sick or grow old. They will be far more glorious than anything we can imagine right now. Now, I mentioned the Bible several times to provide us with answers to these questions, and you may say that's all fine and good, but show me the empirical evidence that there is a heaven, and then I'll believe. I understand. Maybe the short video that distinguishes between knowledge and belief will help us out.
How do you know there's a heaven or there's a hell?
Right.
What they were saying basically is they believe it.
Yeah.
I tried to point out to them that there's a difference between believing and knowledge. Not necessarily one is better than the other.
2 + 2 = 4. Is that knowledge or belief? Knowledge? Your mother loves you. Knowledge or belief?
That's fair.
Okay?
That's fair. That's fair.
that if you say to me, I know that my mom loves me, I don't think you're lying to me. But I would say that's a different type of knowledge from saying 2 + 2 = 4. Her character has consistently been loving to you. So you know your mother loves you, not scientifically. You don't scientifically prove to me that George Washington was the first president of the United States. You show it to me historically. So I'm standing here saying, I know Jesus Christ. You got to go back and you got to read the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, as we were talking about. And then you got to ask yourself, does the historical evidence point to Christ being reliable or does it not?
Jesus was a real man. This is a fact. His teachings were well documented. And the reason I encourage you to read the Bible is to see how Jesus modeled a life that we can follow that will guide us to heaven. It is belief that you will need to answer your question, is there a heaven? Keep listening, keep praying. God bless.
Thank you.